Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I am plumbobd and today we are building a fancy Mediterranean mansion. This is for my Oasis Springs rebuild series, which is a series in which I want to rebuild all of the Sims 4 worlds. Up to now we've done Willow Creek and we are almost finishing, Oasis Springs. We have, I think, like 8 lots left, so it's probably gonna be around 3 to 4 weeks until we finish with this save file, and then we will move on to another world. Now, for this third world that we are gonna renovate, I have a poll in mind for you, because I have some ideas. So first, one of the natural progressions for this world, for this series, would be to renovate Newcrest, because this is what graphically comes next. And for that world, I have in mind some lots. I want to make that world only community lots, so you have some extra choices when traveling with your Sims outside of your usual household. So I want to make like a bowling alley, it's called, a veterinarian or a vet, and then I want to make like a community center for elders, toddlers, children. I want to make a graveyard. I want to make like a wedding venue, stuff like that. But that's gonna be just like community lots, and it's not gonna be so consistent, because for now, as I said, I have some ideas, but when I will finish the ideas for Newcrest, we will move on to another world, and then I will maybe go back to Newcrest and add some other lots to make it more full. So I don't even know if I should turn it into like a season of this series, or if I should rather just sometimes build something in Newcrest and that's it. Like Newcrest is gonna be like our series that just comes and goes. So the second idea I had would be to renovate Magnolia Promenade, because that's the first world that came with the first expansion pack. But the problem is that world only has 4 lots, and those would be also all community lots. Like I would make probably some stores, some bakeries and stuff like that. So first, it's not gonna be the longest series, it's not gonna be the most exciting, and I also wouldn't be the most excited to renovate that world, just because it's not super exciting as a world in general. So third option would be to renovate how is it called, Granite Falls, because that's, if we are going in chronological order, that's the first ever world that came out for The Sims 4 after the 2 base game worlds. So that would make sense for me to renovate Granite Falls. But first, would you be interested in seeing Granite Falls being renovated? I personally think it does need some renovations, but except for some like huts and rental lots, the camping site itself would probably have to be just like an Instagram post, not a full-on video. Otherwise, that video would just turn out to be what we did with the Runaway Mom. So it's like a 8-minute video, which it was fun doing, but I don't think I will ever do it again. I will probably, if I have to make videos that are so short, I will probably just post it on Instagram, which, by the way, follow me on Instagram. I am plumbobd with an underscore over there. So for now, the ideas I threw you were Newcrest, Magnolia Promenade, and Granite Falls. Then I'm gonna throw you some curveballs. This would make the series not go in any particular order anymore, just in what I feel like doing. However, those are words that would be very, very fun to renovate, honestly. So the first idea I have is Tartosa, because as you probably saw in my Italian Y2K house, I think that was the title. It's like the title of the YouTube video is Richella Made Me Cry Harder Than Little Simsy, which I will be linking for you up in the corner of the screen now. And I had a lot of fun building Italian houses, and that's something that people have told me, like, I love your style of build, but you always go for the same style of build. And on one side, I agree that I stick to the same style. On the other side, I am building in one specific world. So we went for a specific style with Willow Creek, and we're going for another specific style with Oasis Springs. So that's the reason why I'm not building in an Italian style, because neither of those worlds is Italian inspired. Whereas instead Tartosa is Italian inspired. So I would have so much fun building in Tartosa. And I feel like it's a world that does need a little bit of renovation. Now, it is a more recent world, and even creators have built houses for that pack, so it's not like they actually need the renovation. It's more so like the creators that were involved, none of them was Italian, and I do really want to make that world feel Italian, because the setting is quite on point. It reminds me a little bit of Liguria, like the Genoa region or the Cinque Terre region. But for the rest, the builds themselves, there's one that's Greek inspired, which we don't have Greek architecture in Italy, and the other ones are a little bit more bland, so I would love to renovate that world. And the last proposal I have for you is that's not a proposal, sorry, the last option I have for you, it's Windenburg. That is the biggest world in The Sims 4, and that's bigger than the actual base game worlds. So that series would be very long, but that is also like one of the most used worlds and one of the oldest ones, so one that would need more renovation, more than other worlds. So among these 5 options, let me know in the comments down below which world you would want to see renovated next when we finish with Oasis Springs. But in any case, when we will approach the end of the series, so in like a couple of weeks, I will put a poll out both on my Instagram and on my community page here on YouTube to ask you for what the next world that we are renovating should be. So after I said this, we have progressed a lot with our build. Actually, we are 8 minutes into the speed build, and we've done the whole exterior structure. The exterior structure came together fairly quickly. I initially had an idea of a very historical castle style for this house, but then I thought that it would just not fit so well with this neighborhood, because the neighborhood is a little bit more modern, a little bit richer, and it's not really a vibe for like a fortress castle style house. So I just went for a regular style build, to which I've added a garage, which is not something I usually do, but I just felt like it for this build. And the inside, we are decorating the inside in I originally wanted to be a Queen Anne style, which is a style that's available in base game, but I didn't want to use just base game, because I had recently done a limited pack build, which I will also be linking for you up in the corner of the screen now. And that build we used only base game, seasons, and cats and dogs. So I just didn't want to use just base game again, because the Queen Anne aesthetic can be very easily reached with just filtering by the style that we have available. So I decided to go for using more packs. It ended up being a little more cottagey than what I would have liked, but I still think it turned out really nice, and I'm really glad of this build. This build is maybe something that you would have more in the background of your let's plays. You probably don't really want to play inside this house, but it's something that adds a nice addition to the world, especially for a lot that was really, I think it's really overlooked generally, because when I went into this lot to check the house before bulldozing it, I think in what is it? It's like 3 years that I've been playing this game, and in 3 years that I've been playing, I've never entered this lot ever in my life, nor have I ever seen it in any of the let's plays I have looked at over the years. By the way, yes, it's only been 3 years since I have started playing The Sims. I've started during the pandemic, so I am not maybe as Plumbella says like playing The Sims since the year 2000, also because in the year 2000 I was literally a couple of months old, so yeah. And yeah, that's it. So basically this house turned out to be a little bit more cottagey than what I would have liked, but still it's really nice. We used a lot of packs for this build. We, as you can see in the garage, we use some batu for containers. We also used like island living for containers and some bedside tables. I've used a lot of cottage living initially for the kitchen, which then I swap out for the cool kitchen. But yeah, the flooring, the paneling, a lot of the beds. We used a lot of Discover University. We used a little bit of paranormal, the Core to the Max kit, a little bit of werewolves. We have used many packs in this build, but that's maybe what you need to achieve a kind of more different vibe. If you don't want to go for the same set of furniture, which I think I've already mentioned it in my previous video, I don't really like using matching sets. Maybe for couches and armchairs, or I wouldn't even say for bedrooms. Like in bedrooms, I try to stay away from using the same furniture over and over again. But in this house, but yeah, so that's the same thing I've done for this house basically. And so this house has 4 bedrooms, I believe so. Yeah, it has 1 downstairs, which is a spare bedroom. Then we have 1 master bedroom upstairs, 1 teenage bedroom, and another spare bedroom. The teenage bedroom is for the runaway mom that we've built a house for in, what was it, last Friday. I will also link it up in the corner of the screen now. So this girl got pregnant with Don Lothario's child. The parents kicked her away of the house. We've been over this story many times, I believe, by now. So yeah, the bedroom is for her, and I really love how the bedroom turned out. You will see it in a little bit. We have built a room in a rocker style, because the sim herself I have created is more of a rocker mom, I would say. Like, I think her everyday fit is like a jeans, like a denim jacket with a Benz t-shirt underneath, some ripped jeans, a little bit more baggy, some how would it be, like some boots, Dr. Martens style. So yeah, she has that style, so I wanted it to be portrayed as well in the bedroom. So that bedroom, when you look it from the top view of the house, sticks out like a sore thumb, but honestly it makes a lot of sense for the house itself, or like for the storyline, and I really enjoy using that style of furniture for teen bedrooms. In fact, I believe it has been a little bit too common for me to imagine rebel teenagers, maybe because I wasn't a rebel teenager as a teenager myself. But yeah, so Malcolm Landgrab is a rebel We've also done Cassandra Goth's room in that style. Now also this girl. I need to make some more like chill teenager. Maybe someone who's really into nature, someone who's really into pastels. I have to stop like creating characters or teenagers that are rebels into music like black, very rock. I'm only just now realizing that I've been going for that style quite a while. Maybe next family, yeah, I think the next teenagers we're gonna create are gonna be in the big family I have planned for one of my next speed builds. Maybe I will make her a little more preppy style. Maybe I will make I want to make a teenage girl that is also a nerd, and maybe a boy jock. I don't remember how many. I wanted that family to have like 5 children. I believe it was like 1 toddler, 2 children, and maybe 2 teenagers, or maybe was it 2 toddlers, 2 children, and 1 teenager. I cannot remember now. We will see what I feel like doing when we get to the build itself. But yeah, so now we have furnished the atrium and the like formal sitting area. I will also be putting a couch with a TV now in the like kitchen dining / living space, and I've also put in this room one of the like it's like a family portrait. I never realized we had that object in the game, and it is not like classed as a CC. I have some CC from Ravashin that does the same exact thing. Has that always been a feature in the game? Because I swear that was the first time I ever saw that object. But anyway, that wasn't what I wanted to say originally. I wanted to say that we have furnished the rooms that you saw, and we moved on to the kitchen. And I believe in like some seconds I will be swapping the kitchen counters from the ones from Cottage Living to the ones from the Cool Kitchen Stuff pack, just because I thought the Cottage Living counters were just too cottagey, which I mean very good, very well done to the Sims team for pulling off a cottagey kitchen, but it wasn't what I was going for this build. So even though I did like it, I kept looking at it and thinking it wasn't fitting with the theme, so I went for something a little bit more modern. Because yes, these parents that I've created are now elders, so they have a little bit of a more ancient style, like maybe a little bit more dated, but that cottagey kitchen was just not matching well with the rest of the house. So I swapped it for something a little bit more modern, makes sense, maybe they renovated it, but the rest of the house you can probably tell is very, very classic. I used like the panelings from Cottage Living, the floorboards, which doesn't make a lot of sense in a deserty world, but I've tried all the tiles in the game and none of them was like quite fancy enough for what I wanted to go for. So I just had to go for the paneling from Cottage Living and also the flooring from Cottage Living. I think we are now moving to the upstairs. I didn't put much in the hallway, just like a couple of shelving units, maybe a couple of plants. The hallway itself wasn't super big because it had doors on both sides and not really many nooks and crannies where I could fit stuff. So I just put some paintings like that, one shelving unit from the Paranormal Stuff pack and a plant from Dine Out. And then we move on to the teenage bedroom that I was mentioning. Now for this build again, I have cut out all of the bathrooms. I don't even think I put them in the screenshots, but if you want to download this build and check the bathroom for yourself, my gallery ID is plumbobd, just same as YouTube, so you can easily find my builds and download them. Every single build I upload on YouTube, I always then end up reposting, or rather posting in advance on the Sims 4 gallery. So if you want some sneak peeks at future YouTube content, you can definitely check out my gallery and give me a cheeky follow and some downloads and likes and comments. Same for this video. If you enjoy it at any point, remember always to like, comment, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. So I believe we are done with the self-promo, and we can talk again about the build. The teenager build, I went for a lot of high school stuff. I used a trick I don't think I've ever used. Like, the bedside tables are actually coffee tables, which makes a lot of sense. It's not a trick that you are able to use so many times in your life or in your builds, because I believe we have like only a couple of coffee tables that are really small, like the ones from High School Years or Tiny Living, maybe some from Dream Home Decorator, but there aren't many single tiles coffee tables. But that looks super good, because especially that coffee table looks super good for as a bedside table, and it's also lower and smaller than most bedside tables. So I thought it looked super good. I think I will be able to remember to use that trick again in the future, I hope, because that's a really original idea. I never saw it on anybody's video, and I really like how this one turned out. So I think I will be using it. I will be using it again. Okay, I managed. And for the rest of the build, okay, since you're not seeing the bathrooms, I may as well describe them to you, because I've always used the same bathrooms. You are seeing it while we just move throughout the house, especially now that I'm doing the laundry. You will be able to see the bathroom right next door. So I use the tiles from the Decor to the Max kit, which in some bathrooms I have tried to turn to like make the tiles face each other and do a different pattern, but I didn't always do it, because it works for like 2 tile bathrooms, but for 3 tiles it just gets messy. So I did it sometimes, didn't do it sometimes, but honestly it's not even that noticeable. So it was just something I did for fun, to do something different, because I hardly ever use the tiles that came with the Decor to the Max kit, but I just wanted to make them work for once, and I think I did. The tiling on the walls is from Runaway, one of my favorite tiles. It does have some ravens on like the edge of the tiles, where like the tile turns into normal plaster, but if you don't look too closely at it, you don't notice those are ravens, so just don't pay attention to that. Then I've used the sink from High School Years, as well as the mirror from High School Years. I've used the bathtub from Cottage Living, and I think I've used also a couple of showers, maybe from Base Game. I cannot remember. I think it's from Base Game, but I don't remember. And then I've used a lot of the bathroom clutter kit, just because I wanted to try and use it since it's a new kit. Honestly, I don't know how often I will be using it in the future, because it's a little bit messy to work around, and for example, even soap dispensers or toothbrush holders, I never used to put those type of items in my bathrooms, because first, sinks don't have the slots available to do that, so you have to raise them up yourself, and they don't always raise to the height that you want them to, so I just usually don't bother doing it. But then if you add surfaces, first you need a big enough bathroom to be able to add surfaces, and second, you always have the same problem of items slotting not where you want them to. So it's a little bit more complicated. So I don't think I will be using that kit so often, but I don't know, here and there are some items that are useful. Still, do not fully recommend buying that kit, to be honest. But anyway, I think we are reaching the end of my speed build, so if you liked it, please remember to comment, like, subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Also remember to follow me on Instagram, I am plumbobd with an underscore over there, and also on TikTok, I am just plumbobd, the same as YouTube over there. On TikTok especially I post some content and which then makes it into a YouTube short, but not always, so stay tuned for like special content. And I think screenshots should be coming up. I will catch you all in my next speed build. Goodbye.